All right, we're going to move on to video number 2, which is the South region. We've already gone over the East region. Go over the South here again before we get started. If you want to become a Picks member, go to TheCashmanwins.com. All picks, 1 year, $49. That's less than $1 a week. Feel free to ask me any questions you have before you join, but you can go to TheCashmanwins.com. Also have monthly subscriptions there as well for the baseball season that's coming up. So we're going to go to the South region with Houston. Last video was less than 10 minutes. We'll try to do the same here. Let's bring the bracket up. And Houston, the number 1 seed in the South. They're going to take Longwood on Longwood. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on that game. Houston's going to win that game. Houston's defense is way too much. Cougars number 3 in turnover percentage on defense as well. They'll have several points off turnovers in this game. Houston to advance to the next round. Then we got Nebraska, Texas A&M, the 8-9 game. Close game here. I'm going to take Nebraska. Nebraska's been the better defensive team. A&M, number 353 on offense and three-point shooting. They're number 301 in two-point shooting percentage as well. A&M is a good rebounding team. They're number 1 in offensive rebound percentage, so that's a big advantage. That could play in as well. But A&M just doesn't do much well on offense. So this is one of those I talked about in the other video. If you've got multiple brackets, you probably maybe put Nebraska in one line and then put Texas A&M on the other bracket. But this is my main bracket, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take Nebraska. It blew that lead for us, killed our little teaser we had over the weekend. They blew that lead. We had them plus 10.5, and they blew it. But we're going to take them to go ahead and get by Texas A&M here in advance. Wisconsin and James Madison. Madison comes in winners of 13 straight. They've won 16 out of their last 17 games. Their defense, number 2 in three-point shooting percentage allowed. You look at Wisconsin, their defense, number 345 in three-point shooting percentage allowed. This is a step up for James Madison, but you've really seen this program take a big move in a lot of their sports. You know, they're becoming kind of a player in these sports, and I'm going to take James Madison in the 5-12 upset here. All the metrics lean to them to cover the spread. I think it was 5.5 or 6 at last look. I'm going to take James Madison with the upset, and I'm going to take them to advance to the next round. This has not been a really good Wisconsin team this year. Playing well right now, but I'm going to take James Madison to knock them off here and move on to the next round. Duke and Vermont, 4-13 matchup. Vermont comes in. They've won 11 in a row, 18 of their last 19. Vermont, a pretty good defensive team. They played one ACC team this year, and that was a 22-point loss at Virginia Tech. I don't think Vermont is going to have the scoring here to pull this one out. I'm going to take Duke to advance to the next round here. Texas Tech, NC State, 6-11 matchup. I'm going to take Texas Tech. They've been the better team on both sides really this year as far as offense and defense goes. NC State good, but not necessarily great at anything. They don't turn the ball over a lot. But I feel like Texas Tech, they played in an overrated Big 12 conference, I thought. But I think they've been the better team on both sides of the ball. It should be a close game. It's a coin flip, really. It's one of those that you probably need to have multiple brackets and take each team. But I'm taking in my main bracket here. I'm going to take Texas Tech, who I think has been the better team this year. I'm going to take them to advance to the next round. Kentucky and Oakland, 3-14 matchup. You're going to see some points here, I think, in this game. Kentucky's allowing nearly 80 points a game. Pretty good Oakland offense. I would not be shocked if Oakland gives Kentucky a little scare early, but I think Kentucky will pull away. I think Kentucky's offense is going to be too much in the end of this, and I think Calipari's crew will advance in the 3-14 game here. I'm going to take Kentucky to go ahead and move on. 7-10 matchup, Florida, Colorado. Florida versus either Colorado or Boise State. I'm actually going to take I don't know why. I just kind of got a feeling. I'm going to take the winner of the Colorado-Boise State team to knock Florida off. Florida gives up a lot of points. I'd lean to it being Colorado, but I think it's close. But I'm going to, Florida just blown out by a really good Auburn team. Could not put Georgia away in the SEC tournament, and not that far off from a loss at Vanderbilt for the Gators. So I'm not sure Florida's playing their best ball going into this tournament. So I'm going to take, I think it's going to be Colorado, but I'm going to take the winner of the Colorado-Boise State to knock off Florida in the 7-10 matchup. And then you've got Marquette, the 2 seed in Western Kentucky. The 15 seed Marquette, a little banged up with Kolick, probable to play. Then you've got Iguodaro, who's questionable. I think he's 14 or 15 points a game. I'm going to take Marquette, but the numbers say Western Kentucky could cover the spread. It's a big spread, I think 14 or 15 points at last look. Big step up, though, for Western Kentucky, and that is not always reflected in the numbers and averages I talked about in the last video. Marquette's defense does force turnovers. I think this Western Kentucky offense, they're number 266 in turnover percentage, so they turn the ball over a little bit. I think that's going to be a problem. So I'm going to take a little bit of a banged-up Marquette team on the 215 matchup to go ahead and advance to the next round. So Houston, Nebraska. We'll go ahead and take Houston to end Nebraska's season here. James Madison and Duke. I'm going to take James Madison with the upset here. So we've got our first kind of a Cinderella team here. I'm going to take James Madison to go ahead and upset Duke and get to the next round. Kentucky, Texas Tech. I don't know if Texas Tech offensively, I think Kentucky's going to have trouble against an offensive team on a day where because Kentucky gives up nearly 80 points a game. They're going to have trouble against a team if Kentucky has an off shooting day. I don't know if Texas Tech's that team. I'm going to take Kentucky to go ahead and get by in that game. And then we'll take Marquette to advance to the next round as well. Houston, James Madison. We'll take Houston to go ahead and get by James Madison here. But I kind of like James Madison. I'm interested to see what they do in this tournament. So that'll get Houston to the Elite Eight. And then we've got against Kentucky or Marquette. I'm going to take Kentucky. Go ahead and get to final round, the final matchup here in this bracket, and then I'm going to go ahead and take Houston. It seems like every year Houston has an injury or something that keeps them from, reaching their potential. Right now they seem like they're fairly healthy, so I'm going to take Houston to actually get it done and get to the Final Four here out of the South region. So next video here in just a few minutes, we'll start with the West here, North Carolina, the number 1 seed. That'll be coming up in just a few minutes. Again, if you want to become a Picks member, go to TheCashmanwins.com. Several options there to become a Picks member. We even have monthly subscription options for you. So far in the East, we've got Connecticut, and in the South, we have got Houston. We will go to the West region in the next video. I'll talk to you soon.